In 2023, in partnership with the World Resource Institute and the Land Accelerator Africa, the Ecofarms launched an agroforestry project, avocados in Nigeria, as indigenous crops, and of course crops that were introduced by the colonial leaders. But we haven't had a thriving industry around Hass. We were particularly interested in Hass because of the shelf life, post-harvest shelf life, and importantly the growing global economic demand for the Hass fruit. In 2023, in partnership with the World Resource Institute and the Land Accelerator Africa, the Ecofarms launched an agroforestry project. Our pioneer crops then were coffee, macadamia, dwarf and medium Cavendish bananas, and importantly, Hass avocado. We have avocados in Nigeria as indigenous crops, and of course crops that were introduced by the colonial leaders. But we haven't had a thriving industry around Hass. We were particularly interested in Hass because of the shelf life, post-harvest shelf life, and importantly the growing global economic demand for the Hass fruits and the oil. And then Hass also had a higher percentage of oil compared to the local ones. So when we were handling them post-harvest, we observed that Hass had a longer shelf life, sometimes as much as 21 days to 30 days, as compared to the local that had just 1 week or less than 1 week. And so our target then was to promote agroforestry by rewarding farmers through their embrace of these economic trees, high-value economic trees. We've had over 5,000 farmers within Nigeria, importantly Jos Plateau, who have subscribed and are interested in the program. Today we'll be focusing on the Hass Value Project and how we are going as an organization to promote the embrace of avocado and other agroforestries within Nigeria. And so we will look into our protocols for the nursery management and how we're able to get clean, healthy, disease-free planting materials to Nigerian farmers. And so for our Hass project, we go through a protocol for nursery where we take advantage of organic material, because as an organization we encourage largely conservation practices that are conscious of the environmental health, the health of the consumer, and also importantly the health of the workers. And so we work with compost such as ash, cow dungs that are abundant in our location as a way to manage waste and recycle them. And then we use sawdust. We have a lot of wood mills around where sawdust is churned out, and so we inculcate them into topsoil, black topsoil, to enrich it with compost to make it porous, improve on the soil quality, and then we use them to prepare our nurseries in bags. These bags are neatly selected from sources where we know our partners that recycle plastics from the environment as a way to reduce the abundant plastics that are in the environment polluting it. So this plastic, we work to make proper holes on them so that the water that when staffs are watering are properly drained. These plastics, we work with clients also to ensure that they return them to us after planting. And if they are damaged, we ensure that our clients properly dispose them so that they are not a menace to the environment. And so we collect our avocados from the local source. We have realized in practice and in research that the local avocado thrives very well in Nigeria and across the country. It's able to tolerate growing weather anomalies, particularly extended droughts, excessive rains in some regions. The branches are tenacious, and it's also voracious. It's able to produce a lot of fruits. It's vigorous in its growth. And we have also importantly observed that within the regions of Jos Plateau and north central Nigeria, the avocados are able to fruit between 2 to 3 times in a year, which is very important economically for farmers who are looking to go into agroforestry with these crops. And so we collect those fruits directly from the trees, which we negotiate with the farmers at the fee. We buy from them, and then we bring them back to the nursery in the screen house. and we allow them to decompose. The fruits we do not let to waste or rot. We harvest the fruits paste and we recycle them into making oil. We also are able to give out designated clients who need them in volume these fruits, and then with the commitment that they will return the fruits to us, the seeds to us from the fruits after consuming them. And these seeds we properly sterilize to ensure that there are no particularly fungal infections and bacterial wilting infections in them. And then these seeds we pre-sprout them for a number of weeks. The reason we pre-sprout is to be able to eliminate any seed that is not viable. Our protocol for pre-sprouting is to soak in a nutrient-rich medium for a minimum of 3 to 7 days. Viable seeds begin to sprout and we are able to identify them. And those that are not viable, we dispose for our decomposition and comes back to the farmer's manure. And these viable seeds are planted in these bags that have been filled with the prepared manure. And the period of between 2 to 3 months, they're properly sprouted, and at that tender moment when their stems are still very fragile and juicy, it's a very good time to begin to graft. For grafting, we've established a proper stock nursery. For the past 3 to 5 years, we have established a nursery where we collect our grafting material from the Zions, and then we are able to graft a period of 6 to 7 months. The plants are properly nourished for that period. They are able to heal, and then they're ready for the farmers. Our protocol requires, because of the time frame to get these plants properly grafted, I give them ample time to properly heal and get them ready to go to the field that clients book within a period of 6 to 8 months. While this may look extensive, we encourage clients to also appreciate the fact that these plants, grafted plants, are not grown from seeds, and so they require that number of time to give you the right plants in the right condition that is ready for your field. If you rush them to the field and they are not ready, you are sure to lose your investment. And so there is need for time for proper healing of the grafts before they can be taken to the field. Thank you. What I'm carrying today here is a successfully grafted and healed Hass plant that is ready to go to the field as the rains come in 2025. Like I mentioned earlier, we started this project in 2023, and what we have here is indigenous avocado, which is the parent stock, and then this is the Zion from the Hass plant that we have grown successfully in several regions of Nigeria to demonstrate that they are viable. They thrive in Nigeria, and we have harvested Zions from these ones that are already grown in Nigeria, and we have successfully grafted them. So what we have here is a Hass plant grafted on the local one.
Hello, valued listener and watcher. If you enjoy what you just watched, if this brought value to you, please, I encourage you to share. I encourage you to like and to subscribe. Thank you.
So we have a successful graft here that has fully healed. and we can see clearly that it's beginning to flower and fruit. Of course, in practice, we won't let this fruit stay because the plant is still tender to bear the fruit. But the key thing is to demonstrate that these plants thrive and they are economically viable in this region. And for the farmer protocol, we have management and marketing aspect. We have two protocols. We have people looking to invest in agroforestry as a business. We bring them in where we give them room to learn from us in practice. We have also developed a detailed production manual for avocado in general with specific details for economic management, pre and post-harvest management for a premium market. And we use this manual to train the intending investors or smallholder farmers so that they are able to produce the quality of fruit that we can buy back from. And so concerning the farmers who have picked from us these plantlets, the two categories of investors are the people looking set up large plantations for avocados, and we're able to work in partnership with them to establish this plantation. And should they be willing to sell back to us, we offer them a buyback program. For the smallholder farmers approach, which is where our interest is in, Nigeria is largely fragmented across land tenure systems, and so having access to large lands for plantation, it's challenging. And one of the programs we've come up with to help deal with this is to encourage smallholder farmers to adopt these fruit trees, plant them as a way of regreening or reforesting their largely deforested fields. And then in commitment, we work with them to teach them the right agronomic practice to manage these economic trees, and then we offer them a buyback. And because there is a buyback policy, these farmers are encouraged and excited about the project because they know they are growing a crop that there is already an existing market from. When we buy back from these farmers, we are able to give them value for the crops they've managed over the years, and in turn the Ecofarms is able to have a network of farmers that we can aggregate large volume of fruits from. It's been a successful project, and we have a number of farmers who are already reaping massively from this protocol. The Ecofarm hopes to empower communities by strengthening them through agroforestry. We intend to provide jobs for rural smallholder farmers as well as young people in the society, and the HAS project has been something that is amazing. We like to continue to thank our partners and colleagues at the Nursery to Africa who set us on this path. We want to thank the WRI, World Resource Institute, for the Nursery partnership project that was able to co-fund this project. We encourage Nigerians who are looking into agroforestry to visit the Ecofarms and explore opportunities around these key economic trees, as they do not just provide source of revenues, but they help our environment to be more sustainable, and importantly to be more green, which is overall everyone